Today we are going to give a presentation about our project. So this is the agenda of today. First we'll give a brief introduction of what our game is about, then move on to explaining our plot and also showing some clips. Finally, we'll wrap up the whole presentation by giving a conclusion. So let me give you a brief introduction of our game. The game is called Rewriting the Death, and the setting is in Macau 50 years ago, which is around 1970s. And the main characters in the play are the police, scientists, and also the criminal. So it is actually related to the theme memory because most of the part in the plot take part in the criminal's memories, which is also in the past. So one significant point to note is that in the whole process, the players will have a lot of decisions to make. However, no matter which decision the players make, the final outcome is always the same. This is important because it echoes with our message about rewriting the history and also changing the past is actually impossible. Next, we'll move on to the part explaining our plot.
Where we can see the criminal is trying to change his memory and try to change the outcome of his choice. And this is the first time the scientist foreshadows the result of the choice is impossible to be rewound. Last time. And during the conversation, the criminal persuaded him to go back in time and stop the criminal. The scientist told him that it's not possible to change the timeline, but he said he will try his best to save his friend.
So now I'll talk about the scene 2 part, which is about the laboratory part. In the last part, we have talked about the criminal want to change the past. Actually, we will provide choices, the options for the players to choose whether you like to change the past or not. But they will also have the same ending. So we assume that the player would choose to change the past. So the scientist has created the time machine, which is shown on the PowerPoint that as you can see, the orange objects is the time machine, although it looks like an orange, but it's actually a time machine. So how it works is that when the scientists sit on the chairs on the time machine, as you can see, there is chairs inside the time machine, and the time machine will close, and so he can travel to the past. And this part is actually very important because it links the reality to the past.
So here we are in the scene of the murder. After the second scene of time travel, the scientist reaches the end of his journey, the final moment whether he can alter the destiny. Yet the criminal was far immature than his present self. Even worse, there is the police coming to stop him. In our game, we would love to give him the chances, since we all have this regrettable moment that we want to change. Sadly, no matter how hard he tried against all odds, the tragedy was inevitable. Why? The incident was not contributed by solely one factor. It does not involve simply that moment, but all the past. How the criminal builds his personality. When we look back into our memory, we have to look all of them. The criminal grew up with corrupted values by the moment of the murder. What occupied his mind was his burning desire or the strong determination to feed his family, yet in the wrong ways. It once again aligns with our message. No matter which choice you make, the results will be the same.
In conclusion, we would like to teach our players a lesson. We are human. It is very understandable that we all make mistakes in our past. We want to change the undesirable outcomes to a more favorable one. We are very regret about some actions and decisions that we desperately would like to warn the past ourselves to adjust or to improve. But sadly, in reality, we all know that we cannot change it, because history has begun, and it is impossible to rewind it. So, please be reminded that you should be extra cautious before taking any decisive actions and decisions that may affect your life forever. Just like the criminals in our story, what he can do is to regret and to bear his respective consequences. So, I hope you learned something and enjoy our scenes. And it rounds up our presentation. Thank you so much.